Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Holiday Dram. This is a series of short videos where we taste different whiskies from around the world as we travel to some of those places, and today you join me in an absolutely beautiful spot. We're just near the town of Kovalam in Kerala in southern India, and the weather's absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'm sitting right here sort of looking at the sea sort of coming in, and you know, lovely blue sky. So yeah, it doesn't really get much better than this. But obviously, as we're in India, we're going to talk today about Indian whiskey, and for us in the UK and Europe and sort of North America as well, Indian whiskey is quite a new thing. We tend to think of brands such as like Amrut and Rampur, who are from the far north, you know, in the foothills of the Himalayas, or somewhere like Paul John, which is from actually much nearer to here in Goa, so slightly further up the coast from where we are here. But that's not really what a lot of Indian people drink. So I thought I would present to you an Indian whiskey that's really just for its own market, you know, domestic market within India. And there's many of these. Most of them are blends, to be honest, and we've got you know, sort of several big selling ones, which we'll talk about just in a minute. But what is the one today, I hear you ask, the Holiday Dram? Well, it's called McDowell's Reserve No.1. And the story behind this, there's actually quite a big story, in that this is the biggest selling whiskey in India. So you know, forget Johnnie Walker, forget anything else, this whiskey sells more whiskey than anything else in India. But not just that, it is the biggest selling whiskey in the world. India is the biggest market, and it also, you know, they sell many bottles of whiskey each year, as you can imagine, with the population the size that it is. So to put this into context, McDowell's Reserve No.1 is, let me find it, I am the person that brings the Malt Whisky Yearbook on holiday. I'm not much of a reader, so I do always like to have this handy, and there's a particular graph in here that I'm going to show you, which shows you the top 30 whiskies in the world. So you probably can't see that, but the one at the very top that's kind of like outstripping everything else in terms of sales is McDowell's Reserve No.1. So this is selling, now let's get this straight, it is selling just over 30 million 9-litre cases. So a 9-litre case has 12 bottles in it, so 30 million 9-litre cases. So I've been away for a week, so my head can't quite do the maths for that, but all we can say is that's a lot of whiskey. But McDowell's Reserve No.1 is not alone. Actually, if you look at the top 4 of this graph, they are all Indian whiskies, and they're all for the domestic market. They're not really available anywhere else. You can't really buy them outside of India. So this is why we particularly enjoyed exploring, you know, something like this, you know, because we've been blogging about whiskey for 15 years now and writing about it, but we've never tasted this, and yet it's the biggest selling whiskey in the world. So it kind of, you know, those figures really blow our brains. So to put it into context, McDowell's Reserve No.1, just over 30 million 9-litre, so 12 bottle cases. There's one called Imperial Blue, which is 24 million cases. There's one called Officer's Choice, which is 23.2 million, and then Royal Stag, 22.4 million. So all of those added together come to over 100 million bottles of whiskey. That's a staggering amount of whiskey. You know, no, sorry, not even 100 million bottles, it's 100 million cases, 12 bottle cases. That's a staggering amount, isn't it, really? And the McDowell's Reserve No.1 is owned by a company called United Spirits Limited, USL, and this is a the sort of trading name of Diageo in India. So it's a Diageo brand, and they actually own a distillery like up the coast in Goa. And again, the trusty Malt Whisky Yearbook, we've got a little bit about it here. I didn't know a great deal, if I'm perfectly honest, but it's called the Seven Seas Distillery, and it's in Goa. So I'll just read you, it's literally like 5 or 6 lines. So it says, established in the late 1800s, the distillery produces the best-selling whiskey in the world, McDowell's Reserve No. 1, with 361 million bottles sold in 2021. Owned by Diageo since 2014, the distillery also produces a very small amount of single malt whiskey, and this is what they're actually using within the blend here. And yeah, whether or not blah blah blah, yeah, there's just a couple of other bits, but essentially that's it. So they make a lot of the single malt that goes into this at that distillery. Also, for the eagle-eyed of you, you will see that it actually says it's a blend of Scotch and Indian whiskies. So obviously they're using the one that they're producing themselves in Goa, but there's also going to be some single malts coming from Scotland. So that's not unusual in Indian whiskey, from what I understand. And you can probably guess that it's going to be coming from Diageo distilleries. You know, so different parts of Scotland give different flavours, but that's quite enough. You know, I got a bit carried away with the description. You know, I'm in such a beautiful spot here, and there's so much to tell because a lot of people don't know about this. So I feel like, you know, I needed to tell you all of those things. But I think it's time that we actually have a taste now. So let's have a. You can see a bit of it's gone. We've been travelling with a group, and you know, we had a little tasting of it the other day. So you know, it's not all us that's drunk it here. Just had to point that out. But yeah, let's see what we have here. So firstly, quite light in colour, quite classic. But then there's lots of vanilla on the nose actually. Lots of toffee, sort of butterscotch, these types of descriptors. There's some green, like green apple, like a green sort of grassy, somewhere between fresh grass and hay. Somewhere sort of in the middle there. And then there's quite a maltiness underneath, quite a distinct sort of malty character. So let's have a taste. It's really quite sweet, very obviously sweet right at the beginning. All of this sort of fudge, toffee, butterscotch, however you want to describe that type of flavour. Maybe vanilla fudge actually is a good one. And you know, some sort of brown sugar in there. There's also some white chocolate, maybe even a bit of milk chocolate or cocoa powder. But then this green comes through, this green fruit, green apple, green grass, something a little, yeah, vegetal underneath actually. And then the maltiness. The maltiness is really giving it the structure. You know, it's almost like the maltiness is the base that everything is built on, and then these other characters are kind of sitting on the top. Yeah, really quite nice. I think we should have another taste. Quite delicious. Didn't really know, if we're honest, we didn't really know what to expect from this. And it's always interesting. We love like trying these types of things that, you know, we're not so aware of in the UK or Europe or, you know, North America. You know, these brands that are only available on the domestic market. And just really quite tasty. It's quite light actually, quite light, quite sweet and quite malty. They're the main characteristics. So of course, guessing this type of whiskey is normally not drunk like this. You know, I'm sitting here little bit sweaty if I'm honest, and it's you know, over 30 degrees, so you're not going to be drinking your whiskey like this. At best you're going to be putting it over some ice, and you know, that'd be very nice, very refreshing actually. But I'm guessing most of the time this gets like mixed away. Either, you know, I'm going to try it in a, you know, so when I get back to my room with some soda water and some ice, but I guess, you know, it gets mixed with Coke or, you know, whatever else people want to mix it with. But yeah, very enjoyable and really nice to discover these things. So won't keep you much longer. You know, we'll say thank you for watching this latest episode of the Holiday Dram. Hope you've enjoyed it. Where will we be next time for the next Holiday Dram? You'll find out soon enough. We're away again at the end of next month, so we'll be bringing you another one of these videos. So thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day. Cheers.